So today in this video, I am working on my kids' window treatments. I have some mini cordless blinds that I'm planning on putting in their rooms, but I don't want just the blinds. I want it to look more like a Roman shade. So today I will be walking you through that process and how to do that. I think it just really elevates the look of the window treatment instead of just having like plastic blinds, having the fabric to look more like a Roman shade sort of just elevates the space and makes it look more like higher end. So let's get started. From Walmart. It's just a vinyl material, vinyl blind. It's cordless, which is kind of what you need because you will be cutting some of the plastic blinds and you will be covering like the strings. So cordless is kind of the best option for this type of project. So when you open it, it looks like this. And then the cordless allows you to just push up and then to or pull them down. You know, this will be mounted and then you just pull down. And then when you want to raise your blinds up or your Roman shade up, then you just push up. You don't need to like mess with any strings or anything else. So this is how it comes comes when you open it up. But to create the Roman shade, we want to take some of the blinds off, and I will show you what that looks like. So with a Roman shade, I'm sure you've seen them before, where it kind of has folds. So the thing that creates the folds are these gaps in the blinds. So all I did was cut the blinds. You don't want to cut any of the strings. You only want to cut the actual blinds. So I started taking some of the blinds off, and as you can see, this is how it looks when you open up the blinds and when you buy them with the blinds intact. And you can use scissors, but I've actually just been tearing it with my hands and it works fine. So I took off 9 here on the top, and I'm gonna leave this one. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I kind of like having more folds closer to one another. So I think I'll do 7 and leave the 8th. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then again, you don't want to tear any of the strings because you do need those in order to pull up the blinds, pull them up and down. And then you just do this until you reach the length of your window, like the height of it. I can't bear the sunshine when you're not beside me. Okay, one really important thing to do when you're working with fabric anytime is to iron it. Once the fabric goes onto your blinds, like you can't really iron it at that point. So don't forget to iron it beforehand. So basically you want to measure your window and then buy the blinds according to your measurements. And essentially we're just going to glue your fabric onto the blinds. So onto the top border the thing that gets mounted into the wall. And then the blinds that are left, you will glue your fabric onto those also. And so when you pull up, it should create that folding design that you see with the Roman shades, or that folded look, I guess. Now I need to fit it onto the blinds, glue it on. But before I can do that, she got very dirty eating lunch, so I'm gonna go change her. This is real life. It's kind of hard and frustrating. I just get frustrated because I can't do like one task without having to do mom stuff, but that's just how it is sometimes. You just have to, you know, work around the kids, which is okay. It's just, I just need to remind myself of that. She is down for a nap, so we are going to start gluing the fabric onto the blinds. Okay, so before I glue the fabric onto the blinds, I'm just ironing about a 1/2 inch on the side, folding it and ironing it. That way the seam is not exposed like on the side. You could also sew it, but I think I'm just gonna iron it. That way that it has a strong crease. And then I'll probably add some glue, fabric glue, so it can stay folded. And that'll help keep the side from like all the fraying showing. Just like this. That way you won't see this on the side. And just fold about that much. And then the iron will help keep it in that position. I'm not a lefty, but I'm ironing with my left hand. Like I said, I'll probably add some glue underneath to keep it in place. So when you do glue the top of the blinds to fabric, I would recommend using a hot glue gun. This allows the glue to dry faster, and that way it's not moving around while you glue the rest of your fabric. So I just do it on that little lip, and then I fold the fabric over. Glue from the glue gun dries pretty instantly, so it'll stay in place once you do this. You know, I've always been like pretty crafty, artistic, and I used to be someone who was like a big perfectionist, and I used to take my time with things, like very, because I was a perfectionist, like I would take a really long time doing things and not rush through things. But since having kids, I feel like I'm just always like trying to rush through things, and like I don't do it. I still pay really close attention to detail, but I feel like I'm always feeling rushed, and so I don't like do it up to my standards. Like I'm always just kind of like, okay, just get it done. And I just really don't like that because I know I'm not doing it like how I really want to do it. I'm not paying close attention. Like I know it should be done a certain way, but I always have like a clock in the back of my head. Like that clock is always ticking of like, oh, she's gonna cry, and so it's gonna need me. And it's just like, I don't know if anyone else kind of had that shift after having kids. But I don't want to be that way. I want to like still do things the right way, even if it takes longer. There's always something more important that needs to be done, maybe. But I also have things that I would like to get done. It's just like the mothering tasks just don't really ever end. So it's like things that I want to get done are not always on the priority list. And in my head, I have this expectation of like me getting them done. But then when reality hits, I don't really meet that expectation of like doing the things that I want to do around the house. And then that's where the frustration lies, is like, I had this expectation of getting my things done, but I couldn't get them done because I have to do the kids' things. And so that's where the frustration comes from, is that expectation that you have in your head and that to-do list that you have in the back of your head. That to-do list is not getting completed, and so that's where your frustration is coming from. Or my frustration. Anywho, I know every mom goes through it. I'm not alone. It's just the season that we're in. Bigger, so the floor is just easier to work on. Okay, and then since my fabric has stripes, I'm gonna try to line up the blinds with the stripes. That way it's just level and everything's even. So you can sort of just add some glue onto the front of your blind. And then after you add the glue, just flip it over. Just try to keep everything in line. Things do tend to move. This is the Roman shade. Put it up. And you can see the different pleats that are created with the blinds that we left in place. It'll look much better once it's like hooked into the wall or the window frame. And as you can see, since we ironed the side and then you iron it just like 1/2 inch, iron it down and then add some glue so it stays folded like that. Because of that, you don't see like any of the fringe on the side. which gives it a nice clean look. I love these. It's kind of a task, but you know, if you have the time, you can choose your own fabrics, you can customize it to your window, your room. So now to take it a step further, you could add some fabric on the back side of your shade, because you can see this like from the outside of your house. So if you don't want it to look like that, you can cover it up with like any fabric you have. If you have like an old sheet, like a flat sheet, not a fitted sheet, but the, you know, the flat sheets. If you have an extra one of those, you can just cut it to this size and glue it on. We can have this. We can have that. Or something nicer. Okay, so I have my brackets up here already, and it's level and everything. Let me just clip it in. Ooh, that looks really nice. That looks so much better. Okay, so these, this is how it looks, you know, all the way closed. I wanted a darker fabric for like room darkening. It looks very bright on camera, and you can kind of see like the lopsided lines. Just ignore that. Okay, I personally like that better than plastic blinds. Now let me show you the Roman shade feature, like the folding aspect of it. That's what we all want to see, right? Not just a piece of fabric. So you just, so see how it like folds up, and I like sort of like bringing the fabric out, and you can kind of train them. But I just love, like during the day, opening them up. So during the day you can, you know, we want to see outside, we want to let in the natural light. And so you just fold it up. I love having the different layers, the different folds. And it's just so easy to pull down. We want more privacy. So I actually ended up making 2 of the Roman shades using this same fabric. Now the first one, I didn't line up the blinds with the stripes, the horizontal stripes. So as you saw, some of the blinds, I glued them on a little bit crooked. The second one I made, the one with the curtains, that one I realized I should line the blinds up with the horizontal stripes upon, you know, gluing them down. So if you have any sort of stripe like that on your fabric or guidance of some sort, go ahead and use that when you're gluing the blinds down, just to make sure that it's straight. It'll come out better. Alrighty, well, I hope this helped you in any way if you do try to make the Roman shade. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And like I was mentioning earlier, I know it is hard to get things done with little kids. I mean, even just laundry and cooking, they start walking and getting into things. It is a little challenging, but I'm not saying it in a way to complain about it. I just really want to address it and let other moms know that this happens with everyone. So you're not alone in this season of having little ones. So just remember to do your best. Keep going every day, you know, do what you can and move forward and stay positive throughout it all. So thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.